Stress is killing more people than cigarettes. That is not an opinion. A massive global study of over 2 million people across 149 countries found that emotional stress has been getting worse every single year since 2007. And 85% of countries reported worse psychological stress in 2020 compared to 2008. 85%. And the youngest people? They are getting hit the hardest. Right now, nearly 1 out of every 2 Americans experiences significant daily stress, according to Gallup's Global Emotions Report. That is one of the highest rates among wealthy nations on the planet. Half of all adults walking around with a storm going on inside their body every single day. But here's the thing. By the end of this video, you are going to have a complete system to control your stress daily. Not some fluffy advice, not just relax. I'm going to walk you through what stress actually does inside your body, and then give you a step-by-step plan backed by real science that you can start using today. And later, I'm going to show you a breathing trick that can lower your stress hormone by over 30%. Stay with me. So, what is stress really? Stress is your body's physical and emotional response to something new, something hard, or something dangerous. That is the official definition from the CDC. Your body was built to feel stress. It is not a bug in your system. It is a feature. Think about it. Thousands of years ago, if a lion showed up, you needed that jolt of energy. Your heart had to beat faster. Your muscles had to tighten. Your eyes had to focus. That is stress doing its job. The problem is, your body cannot tell the difference between a lion chasing you and, a text message from your boss at 11 p.m. So your body fires up the same emergency system for a real threat and for a perceived threat. And that is where things go wrong. Because when that emergency system stays on, day after day, week after week, it starts to destroy you from the inside. And I'm about to show you exactly how. When you feel stressed, your brain activates something called the HPA axis. That stands for hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis. Think of it like a chain reaction. Your brain sends a signal to your hypothalamus. Your hypothalamus tells your pituitary gland. And your pituitary gland tells your adrenal glands, which sit right on top of your kidneys, to release cortisol. Cortisol is your main stress hormone. It floods your bloodstream. It raises your blood sugar. It shuts down systems your body thinks are not important right now, like digestion and reproduction. It is basically your body going into survival mode. Everything that is not about surviving this moment gets turned off. Now here's the key thing to understand. This system is supposed to turn off once the danger passes. Cortisol levels should come back down. Your heart rate should slow. Your digestion should restart. But with chronic stress, that never happens. The switch stays on. And that is when the real damage begins. The American Psychological Association and the National Institute of Mental Health have pointed to chronic stress as a driver of heart disease, high blood pressure, digestive problems, and weakened immune response. That is not a small list. Those are the biggest killers on the planet. A study published in JAMA Psychiatry found that people experiencing high stress over a long period were 2 times more likely to develop metabolic syndrome, which includes high blood pressure, high blood sugar, and excess belly fat. All of those things increase your risk of a heart attack or stroke. And it gets worse. Research shows chronic stress literally changes the structure of your brain. Scientists found volume reductions in the prefrontal cortex and the limbic system, changes in how brain cells connect to each other, and even the shrinking of nerve endings. That is the part of your brain where you do things like plan your next week, decide whether to take that new job, or think about what happens if you spend too much money this month. Stress is not just a feeling. It is physical destruction. Now this part shocked me. Researchers at Rice University published a study in Psychosomatic Medicine that found chronic stress damages your cells at the mitochondrial level. Mitochondria are the tiny engines inside each of your cells that produce energy. Think of it like this. Imagine your phone battery used to last all day. But now, because of constant stress, that same battery only holds a 40% charge. You feel tired. You cannot focus. You do not have energy for the things you used to enjoy. That is what is happening at the cellular level. The researchers found that people with less leftover cellular energy experienced fewer positive emotions and were less able to do basic physical things. And less cellular energy is linked to higher inflammation, which can lead to conditions like dementia and Alzheimer's. So stress is not just aging your mind, it is aging your cells. But do not worry. I am about to give you the tools to fight this, step by step. All right, here is where the real work begins. I am going to give you a daily stress control system. Think of these as your stress-fighting tools. Each one is backed by research. Each one is simple enough to start today. And when you combine them, let us just say the effect is powerful. Step 1 is the foundation. If you skip this step, everything else becomes 10 times harder. And later in this video, I'm going to share a night routine that will supercharge everything you learn here. So make sure you stay until the end. The first step, the absolute first thing you must do every single day to control your stress, is to breathe. I know that sounds simple, maybe even too simple, but stay with me, because the science behind this is going to change the way you think about breathing forever. A study published in the journal Frontiers in Psychology tested 40 healthy adults over 8 weeks. Half of them practiced diaphragmatic breathing for 30 minutes every other day. The other half did nothing. After 8 weeks, the breathing group showed significantly lower cortisol levels and improved sustained attention. The control group? No change at all. A separate study found that combining slow, deep breathing with mindfulness reduced cortisol levels by over 30%. 30%. Just from breathing differently. That is a bigger drop than some medications provide. Here is why it works. When you breathe slowly and deeply, you activate your parasympathetic nervous system. That is your body's rest and digest mode. It is the opposite of the stress response. Deep breathing shifts the balance of your nervous system away from fight or flight and toward calm. It literally tells your brain, "We are safe, stand down." So here is exactly how to do this. Sit or lie down. Put one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly. Now breathe in through your nose slowly and feel your belly push out against your hand. Your chest should barely move. That is diaphragmatic breathing. You are pulling air deep into the bottom of your lungs instead of taking those short, shallow breaths that keep your stress response going. Now here is the rhythm I recommend. Breathe in for a count of 4. Hold for a count of 4. Breathe out for a count of 6. That longer exhale is the secret. Research on a technique called 2-to-1 breathing, where your exhale is twice as long as your inhale, showed significant reductions in blood pressure and heart rate after just 3 months of daily practice. Do this for 5 minutes every morning. That is it, 5 minutes. Before you check your emails, before you look at the news, before you argue with someone on the internet about which team is better, just 5 minutes of breathing. This is your first stress shield of the day. Step 2. Move your body. Harvard Health reports that exercise reduces cortisol and adrenaline in your blood. At the same time, it stimulates the production of endorphins. Endorphins are your brain's natural painkillers and mood boosters. That is a double win. But it gets even better. A study published in Psychoneuroendocrinology found that exercise intensity reduces your stress hormone response in a dose-dependent way. That means the more intensely you exercise, the better your body becomes at handling stress afterward. The cortisol released during exercise actually blocks the cortisol that would come from a stressful event later. Now, before you panic, you do not need to run a marathon. Research in the journal Scientific Reports found that even light physical activity was associated with feeling less stressed by the end of the day. A 20-minute walk counts. Stretching counts. Dancing in your kitchen counts. The key is consistency. Move every day. Now, let me give you a little insider tip about timing. If you do your 5 minutes of breathing first and then exercise right after, you are stacking two stress-fighting weapons on top of each other. Your nervous system is already calmed down from the breathing. So when you exercise, your body can focus on building strength and releasing endorphins instead of fighting the cortisol that was already there. A study in Frontiers in Public Health showed that even regular physical activity was associated with better emotional resilience to stress. People who exercised at least once a week showed less decline in positive emotions after stressful events compared to people who did not exercise at all. Think about that. Exercise does not just make you feel good now, it protects you from feeling bad later. So aim for at least 20 to 30 minutes of movement every day. Walk around your neighborhood, do some push-ups in your living room, follow along with a workout video on your phone. Anything that gets your heart rate up. This is step 2 of your daily armor against stress. Step 3, and this one is non-negotiable, is sleep. A study published in the journal Sleep found that even partial sleep loss raised cortisol levels by 37% the following evening. Total sleep deprivation raised it by 45%. And the researchers concluded that sleep loss weakens the resiliency of your stress response. Think about what that means. You stayed up late scrolling through videos, you slept 5 hours instead of 7, and then the next day when your coworker says something rude or your train is late, your body overreacts because your stress system is already broken from last night's bad sleep. It is like trying to drive a car with flat tires. Research from the Royal Society confirms that disrupted sleep and stress have a reciprocal relationship. Bad sleep causes more stress. More stress causes bad sleep. It becomes a vicious cycle. And the only way to break it is to make sleep a priority. Not a luxury, a priority. Here is your sleep plan. The CDC recommends adults get at least 7 hours of sleep per night. Go to bed at the same time every night. Wake up at the same time every morning. Yes, even on weekends. Your body runs on a clock, and every time you change the schedule, you confuse that clock. Cut off screens 1 hour before bed. The blue light from your phone signals your brain to stay awake. Instead, do your breathing exercises again. 5 minutes of deep, slow breathing before sleep activates your parasympathetic nervous system and prepares your body for deep rest. Keep your room cool, dark, and quiet. These 3 things alone can dramatically improve your sleep quality. Get blackout curtains if the streetlights keep leaking in, turn the thermostat down to about 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit, and if your neighbor's music keeps coming through the walls, try a white noise machine or earplugs. Protect your sleep like your life depends on it, because honestly, it does. Step 4 is one that most people underestimate: gratitude. A 2020 study found that people who practiced gratitude writing experienced a significant decrease in stress and negative emotions compared to 2 other groups, and these effects lasted at least a month after the study ended. A month! From just 1 week of writing! A systematic review and meta-analysis published in PLOS One confirmed that gratitude interventions are associated with better mental health, fewer symptoms of anxiety and depression, and greater life satisfaction. And here is the brain science. When you focus on what you are thankful for, your brain releases dopamine and serotonin, the same chemicals that antidepressant medications target. You are literally giving yourself a free dose of feel-good chemicals every time you practice gratitude. No prescription needed. Here is exactly what to do. Every night before bed, write down 3 things you are grateful for. That is it. 3 things. It could be something like, "My friend called to check on me today," or "I had a really delicious lunch," or even, "The rain stopped just as I was leaving work." A study of healthcare professionals found that just 21 days of gratitude journaling significantly increased their reported gratitude and helped manage work-related stress. These were nurses and doctors working in intensive care units, some of the most stressful environments on Earth. And gratitude still made a measurable difference. Here is why this works for stress specifically. Research from the University of Utah found that participants who felt grateful showed a reduction in cortisol levels and stronger cardiac functioning. They were more resilient to emotional setbacks. Gratitude does not erase your problems, but it changes the lens through which you see them. And that change changes everything inside your body. Step 5. Limit your stress triggers. The CDC specifically recommends taking breaks from news and social media because constant information about negative events increases stress. You know this is true. You feel it. Every time you open that app and see another argument, another crisis, another reason to worry, your HPA axis fires up. Cortisol floods your blood. Your heart rate increases. Your body thinks it is in danger. But you are just sitting on your couch, holding a phone. The danger is not real, but your body's response is. So set boundaries. Give yourself 1 or 2 specific times a day to check the news, like once in the morning and once in the evening, and then put it down. Turn off notifications for apps that make you anxious. I promise you, the world will keep spinning whether you check the news every 5 minutes or not. Protect your peace like it is money in the bank, because it is. Step 6. Connect with other people. This is not just feel-good advice. The CDC lists social connection as a core stress management strategy. Human beings are wired for connection. When you isolate yourself, stress grows louder. When you talk to someone you trust, when you laugh with a friend, when you feel seen and heard by another person, your body releases oxytocin. Oxytocin is sometimes called the bonding hormone. It directly counteracts the effects of cortisol. It lowers your blood pressure. It calms your nervous system. It makes you feel safe. So call that friend you have not spoken to in months. Have dinner with your family without phones on the table. Or even just say good morning to a stranger. You do not need to talk about your problems to get the benefit. Just being in the presence of people who care about you, or even kind strangers, sends a signal to your brain that you are not alone. And that signal is a powerful stress reducer. Step 7. Watch what you eat. The CDC recommends eating fruits, vegetables, lean protein, whole grains, and limiting foods with unhealthy fats, salt, and added sugars as part of stress management. There is a real connection between your gut and your brain. When you eat processed food, your gut sends inflammatory signals to your brain. That same review of chronic stress pathways confirmed that inflammation from any source, including diet, worsens the effects of stress on your body. You are feeding the fire. Every sugary snack, every fried meal, every late-night junk food binge is giving your stress more fuel to burn. Now, I am not saying you can never eat pizza again. What I am saying is that your daily habits matter. Start your morning with eggs and vegetables instead of a donut. Keep nuts and fruit in your bag for when the afternoon craving hits. And drink water instead of that 3rd cup of coffee. These small changes tell your body, I am taking care of you. And your body will respond. And while we are on the topic, the CDC also recommends limiting alcohol. A lot of people drink to relax. But alcohol actually disrupts your sleep cycle and raises cortisol levels the next day. You feel more stressed, not less. So you drink again. Another vicious cycle. Caffeine is similar. In small amounts, it can help you focus. But too much caffeine keeps your sympathetic nervous system, that fight-or-flight system, activated for hours. If you are drinking 4 or 5 cups of coffee a day and wondering why you feel anxious at night, there is your answer. You do not have to quit everything cold. Just be aware. Cut yourself off from caffeine by early afternoon, switch to herbal tea after lunch, and if you do drink alcohol, keep it to 1 glass and not the whole bottle. Small changes, big results over time. Step 8. Practice mindfulness. And before you roll your eyes, listen to this. A meta-analysis of randomized controlled trials showed that breathwork and mindfulness interventions significantly reduced self-reported stress, anxiety, and depressive symptoms. This is not opinion, this is data from multiple rigorous studies. Mindfulness simply means paying attention to what is happening right now without judging it. Instead of thinking, I should not be feeling this way, you think, I notice that I feel tight in my chest right now. Interesting. That small shift breaks the stress cycle because you stop fighting the feeling and start observing it. Even one study found that slow breathing enhanced parasympathetic tone and helped regulate the HPA axis, which is that stress hormone chain we talked about earlier. So when you combine mindfulness with your breathing practice, you are controlling stress at both the mental and physical level. That is complete protection. Here is a simple 5-minute meditation you can do anywhere. Close your eyes, breathe slowly, in for 4, out for 6. Now just notice. What do you hear? What do you feel? Maybe you hear cars outside your window. Maybe you feel the weight of your hands on your lap. Maybe you notice a slight breeze from the air conditioning. Do not try to feel calm. Do not try to stop your thoughts. Just notice them. Let them come, let them go, like clouds passing across the sky. If your mind wanders, and it will, just gently bring it back to your breath. No judgment, no frustration. Do this once a day, in the morning, at lunch, or right before bed. 5 minutes. That is all it takes to start training your brain to be less reactive to stress. And the more you do it, the stronger that neural pathway becomes. You are literally building a calmer brain, one 5-minute session at a time. Now, let me put this all together into a morning routine. This is the part where everything clicks. Wake up. Do not grab your phone. Instead, sit up, close your eyes, 5 minutes of diaphragmatic breathing. In for 4, hold for 4, out for 6. Then, move. 20 to 30 minutes of exercise. A walk, a jog, some push-ups, yoga, anything. Your cortisol levels are naturally highest in the morning, so this is the perfect time to burn it off with movement. Then eat a real breakfast. Protein, vegetables, healthy fats. Think scrambled eggs with spinach and avocado, or oatmeal with berries and nuts. Avoid sugary cereals and pastries that will spike your blood sugar and crash your mood 2 hours later. This morning routine alone will transform your stress levels within a week. I guarantee it. Now for the evening. This is just as important. 1 hour before bed, screens off. Do your gratitude journaling. Write down 3 things you are grateful for. Take 5 minutes to meditate or do your breathing exercises again. Research confirms that diaphragmatic breathing before sleep helps activate your rest and digest system. Your body starts to wind down. Cortisol levels drop. Melatonin starts to rise. You are preparing your body for deep, restorative sleep. Make this a ritual, not a chore. Light a candle, put on soft instrumental music, do some gentle stretches. Signal to your brain that the day is over, that there is nothing left to fight, that you are safe. This nightly ritual is the closing bracket on your day, and it makes everything you did in the morning work better. Here is your week 1 challenge. For the next 7 days, I want you to do just 3 things. 1. 5 minutes of breathing every morning. 2. 20 minutes of movement. 3. Write 3 gratitudes every night. That is it. Do not try to overhaul your entire life in 1 week. Behavioral stress reduction research across over 200 studies confirms that consistent, small actions are what produce real results. You are building a habit, and habits take repetition. Track your progress. Use a simple notebook, or put a check mark on your calendar every day you complete all 3, or even just set a daily alarm on your phone as a reminder. After 7 days, you will feel the difference. Your sleep will be deeper, your mood will be more stable, your body will feel lighter, and then you will be ready for the next level. Week 2, you add the next layer. Keep doing everything from week 1. Now, add mindfulness meditation. 5 minutes a day. You already know how. Close your eyes, breathe, observe, do not judge. Also in week 2, start limiting your news and social media intake. Set specific windows like 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. and do not touch it outside those times. This is going to feel uncomfortable at first. Your brain has been trained to check constantly. But that discomfort is your brain rewiring itself. And add one social connection per day. Call someone, text a friend something kind, eat lunch with a coworker instead of alone at your desk, or even compliment a stranger. These connections release oxytocin and directly combat the cortisol in your system. By the end of week 2, you are running a full stress management system. Now, let us go deeper. To truly control stress, you need to understand your specific triggers. A trigger is anything that starts your stress response. It could be a person, a place, a time of day, or even a thought. For some people, the trigger is Monday mornings. For others, it is a specific family member calling. For some, it is looking at their bank account. Everybody's triggers are different, and most people have never sat down to actually identify theirs. So get a piece of paper. Write down the last 5 times you felt really stressed. What was happening? Where were you? Who were you with? What time of day was it? Look for patterns. Once you see the pattern, you can prepare for it. You can breathe before it happens. You can choose a different response. Knowledge is power, and knowing your triggers is the most powerful stress knowledge you can have. Step 9 in your stress toolkit is cognitive reframing. This is a fancy way of saying, change the way you think about the stressful situation. Instead of, this is terrible, I cannot handle this, you say, this is hard, but I have been through hard things before and I am still here. This is not about being fake or pretending everything is fine. It is about being accurate. Most of the stress you feel comes from your interpretation of events, not the events themselves. 2 people can get stuck in the same traffic jam. One is screaming at the steering wheel. The other is listening to music and thinking about dinner. Same event, completely different stress levels. Research on psychological resilience shows that cognitive flexibility, which is the ability to adjust your thinking, is one of the strongest buffers against the negative effects of stress. You cannot always control what happens to you, but you can always control what happens inside you. Step 10. Progressive muscle relaxation. A study comparing multiple relaxation techniques found that deep breathing and progressive muscle relaxation produced the greatest reduction in anxiety, greater than guided imagery, greater than other methods tested. Here's how it works. Start at your toes. Squeeze the muscles in your feet as tight as you can for 5 seconds. Then release. Feel the tension leave. Move up to your calves. Squeeze, hold, release. Then your thighs, your stomach, your chest, your hands, your shoulders, your face. By the time you reach the top of your head, your entire body is in a state of deep relaxation. It is like wringing out a wet towel. All that tension you have been carrying in your neck, your jaw, your shoulders, it just melts away. Do this before bed or during a stressful moment at work. It takes about 10 minutes and the relief is immediate. Step 11. Get outside. Spending time in nature has been shown to lower cortisol, reduce blood pressure, and improve mood. Even 20 minutes in a park or garden can make a measurable difference. There is something about natural environments that our brains respond to. The sound of birds, the feel of a breeze, the sight of trees moving. These are signals that our ancient brain interprets as safe. For millions of years, those signals meant no predators, plenty of food, everything is okay. So if you can, take your daily walk outside. Not on a treadmill in a gym. Outside where you can see the sky and feel the air. Walk through a park, sit by a river, or even just stand on your balcony and look at the clouds for a few minutes. Your stressed out modern brain will thank you for the ancient medicine of the natural world. Do not underestimate the power of laughter. Laughter reduces cortisol, increases endorphins, and even boosts your immune system. It is literally one of the most enjoyable stress relief tools that exists. When you laugh, your diaphragm contracts rapidly. This is essentially a form of forced deep breathing. So you are getting the benefits of breath work and a mood boost at the same time. It is a 2-for-1 deal. Watch a comedy special tonight? Call that friend who always makes you snort laugh, or play a silly game with your kids or your pet. Make laughter a daily habit, not just something that happens by accident. Schedule joy into your day the same way you schedule meetings and deadlines. Your stress hormones will not know what hit them. Beyond gratitude journaling, regular journaling about your thoughts and feelings is also a powerful stress tool. Writing helps you process emotions that are stuck inside your body. When you put them on paper, they lose some of their power over you. Instead of that worry spinning around in your head at 2 a.m., write it down. I am worried about the rent this month. Once it is on paper, your brain can let go of it a little. It has been acknowledged. It has been recorded. Your brain does not need to keep holding it anymore. Try spending just 10 minutes at the end of each day writing freely about whatever is on your mind. No rules, no grammar, no judgment. Just dump it all out. Think of it as taking out the mental trash. You would not let garbage pile up in your kitchen for weeks, so why let it pile up in your mind? Here is something most people miss. Dehydration increases cortisol. When your body does not have enough water, it interprets that as a threat. And what does your body do when it senses a threat? It activates the stress response. Even mild dehydration, as little as 1 to 2% of your body weight in water loss, can affect your mood, energy, and ability to think clearly. That headache you get at 3 p.m., it might not be stress from work. It might be that you forgot to drink water since breakfast. Aim for at least 8 glasses a day. Keep a water bottle on your desk, set reminders on your phone to drink every hour, and start every morning with a full glass before you do anything else. It is such a simple thing, but simple things done consistently produce extraordinary results. Step 12. Learn to say no. One of the biggest sources of chronic stress is overcommitment. You say yes to extra shifts at work. You say yes to every favor people ask. You say yes to events you do not even want to attend. And then you wonder why you feel so overwhelmed. Every yes to someone else is a potential no to your own health. I am not saying become selfish. I am saying become strategic. Protect your energy the same way you protect your money. You would not hand your wallet to every person who asked for it, so why hand over your time and energy? Practice this phrase. I appreciate you asking, but I cannot commit to that right now. That is it. No long explanation needed. No guilt. No apology. Boundaries are not walls that keep people out. They are fences that keep your peace in. Let us go back to the science for a moment. Research shows that chronic stress suppresses immune function by directly stimulating the proliferation of inflammatory cells in the bone marrow. Your body starts overproducing immune cells that cause inflammation, instead of the cells that fight infection. That is why stressed people get sick more often. You catch every cold that goes around the office, that cut on your finger takes forever to heal, and you feel generally run down all the time. It is not bad luck. It is your immune system being hijacked by chronic stress. Every single step I have given you in this video helps reverse this process. Breathing lowers inflammation. Exercise strengthens immunity. Sleep repairs your cells. Gratitude boosts your mood chemicals. You are not just managing stress, you are rebuilding your immune system from the ground up. Here is a tool that almost nobody talks about: silence. Deliberate, intentional silence. No music, no podcasts, no TV, no conversation. Just quiet. Your brain is being bombarded with information all day long. Notifications, conversations, advertisements, emails, the noise of traffic. It never stops. Your brain needs time to process all of that. And the only time it can truly process is in silence. Try 10 minutes of silence a day. Sit in your car before you go into work and just be still. Or wake up 10 minutes early and sit in the quiet before your house wakes up. Let your brain breathe. You will be amazed at how much clearer your thinking becomes, how much lighter your body feels. Silence is not empty. It is full of answers. This one is going to sound crazy, but Cold water exposure. When you expose your body to cold water, even just 30 seconds of cold at the end of your shower, your body releases norepinephrine, which improves mood and focus and reduces inflammation. Research on the Wim Hof method, which combines deep breathing with cold exposure, has been linked to reduced stress markers and improved immune regulation. The theory is that brief, controlled physical stress makes your body stronger and more resilient to psychological stress. Scientists call this hormesis, a little bit of stress that makes you tougher. Start small. At the end of your normal warm shower, turn the water to cold for just 15 seconds. Breathe slowly through it. Over time, extend it to 30 seconds, then a minute. It is uncomfortable. Oh, it is very uncomfortable. But the feeling after, that rush of energy and clarity, is unlike anything else. Try it for 1 week and see for yourself. Your body stores stress in your muscles. Your neck gets tight when deadlines pile up. Your jaw clenches when you are angry. Your shoulders creep up toward your ears when you are anxious. That physical tension reinforces the mental stress. It is a feedback loop. Stretching breaks that loop. Spend 5 to 10 minutes stretching every day, especially your neck, shoulders, hips, and lower back. Hold each stretch for at least 30 seconds. Breathe deeply while you stretch. Do a gentle neck roll right now while you are listening to this. Slowly rotate your head in a circle. Feel where it is tight. Breathe into that tightness. That feeling of release, that is your body letting go of stored stress. Make this part of your daily routine and you will carry less tension through your day. Step 13. Visualization. Close your eyes and imagine the most peaceful place you have ever been. Maybe it is a beach you visited as a child, a mountain trail you hiked last summer, or your grandmother's kitchen on a Sunday morning. See it clearly. Hear the sounds. Feel the temperature on your skin. Your brain cannot fully distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. When you visualize a calm, safe place, your nervous system responds as if you are actually there. Heart rate slows, muscles relax, cortisol drops. Use this technique whenever you feel a stress spike coming on. Before that big meeting, during a flight delay, or in the waiting room at the doctor's office. Close your eyes for 60 seconds and go to your peaceful place. It is a mental vacation that fits in your pocket. Here is a bonus tool. Certain scents have been shown to reduce stress. Lavender is the most studied. A large study of nearly 4,800 pre-surgical patients found that deep breathing combined with lavender aromatherapy reduced anxiety in approximately 40% of participants. Other calming scents include chamomile, bergamot, and sandalwood. Keep a small bottle of lavender essential oil in your bag and dab a drop on your wrists when you feel tension building, or put a few drops on your pillow before bed. This is not the core of your stress management plan. Your breathing, exercise, sleep, and gratitude are the foundation. But aromatherapy is a nice addition that can make your practice feel more enjoyable. And the more enjoyable your stress management routine is, the more likely you are to stick with it. This one might be the hardest step of all: forgiveness. Holding on to anger, resentment, and grudges is one of the most toxic forms of chronic stress, because the person you are angry at is out there living their life, while you are the one losing sleep over it. Forgiveness is not saying what happened was okay. It is saying, I refuse to let this control my body anymore. It is choosing to put down the heavy thing you have been carrying for your sake, not theirs. Start with something small. Forgive the driver who cut you off last week. Forgive the friend who forgot your birthday. Then work your way up to the bigger stuff. Each act of forgiveness is a release of cortisol, a release of tension, a release of pain. Your body will feel the difference, I promise. Once a week, take a full digital detox. 1 day. No social media, limited phone use, no news. Just you, the real world, and the people physically around you. The constant connectivity of modern life keeps your stress response activated at a low level all the time. Your brain is always half expecting a notification, a message, a piece of bad news. That low-level hum of alertness is exhausting, even if you do not realize it. A weekly digital detox gives your nervous system a chance to fully reset. Spend the day cooking, reading a physical book, going for a long walk, or having a deep conversation with someone you love. At the end of the day, you will feel like you just came back from a vacation. Try it this weekend. Here is a technique that therapists use with their clients. Schedule your worry time. That sounds strange, I know, but it works. Pick a specific time each day, say 5 p.m., and give yourself 15 minutes to worry about everything. During the rest of the day, when a worry pops up, write it down and tell yourself, I will worry about that at 5 p.m. When the rude customer bothers you at 10 a.m., jot it down. When you remember your car needs new tires at noon, jot it down. Save it all for 5 p.m. You are not ignoring your worries. You are containing them. What you will find is that by the time 5 p.m. arrives, most of those worries do not seem as big anymore. Many of them solve themselves. And the ones that are still bothering you, you can address them with a clear mind instead of reacting emotionally in the moment. This is strategic stress management. Physical exercise is great, but mental exercise matters too. Research has shown that chronic stress causes brain areas to shrink and neural connections to weaken. So you need to actively challenge your brain to maintain its strength. Do a crossword puzzle, learn a few words in a new language, play chess online, or read something that makes you think. These activities strengthen the prefrontal cortex, the same area that stress damages. The first question is frontal cortex means better decision-making, better emotional control, and better stress management. It is like lifting weights for your brain. The stronger it is, the more stress it can handle without breaking. Here is a productivity hack that also reduces stress. The 2-minute rule. If something will take less than 2 minutes to do it now. Reply to that email, wash that one dish, hang up that jacket. Unfinished tasks create mental clutter. Every incomplete task is a tiny open loop in your brain that consumes energy and creates low-level anxiety. When you close those loops quickly, your brain feels lighter. Apply this throughout your day and watch how much less overwhelmed you feel by evening. Instead of a pile of 20 small tasks haunting you, you cleared them all one by one as they appeared. Less clutter, less cortisol, more peace. You do not need to exercise all at once. Try movement snacks throughout the day. Stand up and stretch for 2 minutes between meetings. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. Walk around the block during your lunch break, or do 10 squats while your coffee is brewing. These microbursts of movement keep your blood flowing, your muscles engaged, and your cortisol levels in check. Even light physical activity throughout the day was associated with lower evening stress levels. Think of movement snacks as maintenance. Your morning workout is the big clean. Movement snacks are like wiping the counter throughout the day, keeping things tidy so the mess never builds up. Easy, simple, effective. Paint, draw, sing, dance, write poetry, play an instrument. Creative expression is a powerful form of stress release that engages different parts of your brain than logical thinking. When you create something, you enter a state of flow. Time slows down, your inner critic gets quiet, your stress response takes a back seat to the joy of making something. It does not matter if it is good, it matters that you are doing it. Grab some colored pencils and doodle for 10 minutes. Sing loudly in the shower without caring how it sounds, or dance in your kitchen to your favorite song. Let the stress leave your body through your hands, your voice, your movement. Art is medicine. Use it freely. There is an ancient idea that shows up in both Eastern and Western traditions. The Stoics of ancient Greece said it, The Buddhists said it, modern psychologists say it, and it is this: focus only on what you can control. Release everything else. You cannot control the weather. You cannot control other people's opinions. You cannot control the economy. You can control your breathing. You can control what you eat. You can control how much you sleep. You can control your response to difficult situations. Every moment you spend worrying about something outside your control is a moment you steal from something within your control. Make a list of what you can and cannot control, then pour all of your energy into the first list. This single shift in focus can reduce your stress by half, maybe more. Here's another powerful technique: the body scan. Lie down or sit comfortably. Close your eyes. Now slowly move your attention from the top of your head down through your body, all the way to your toes. At each point, ask yourself, am I holding tension here? Check your forehead, your jaw, your throat, your shoulders, your chest, your stomach, your hips, your thighs, all the way down to your feet. Where do you find tension? Breathe into it. Imagine your breath dissolving the tightness. This practice takes about 10 minutes, and it builds an incredible awareness of where you store stress. Most people discover they clench their jaw all day without realizing it, or hunch their shoulders up toward their ears. Once you notice it, you can release it. Awareness is the first step to freedom. Every morning before you start your day, set one intention. Not a to-do list, an intention. Something like, today I choose to respond calmly to whatever comes my way. Or, today I will be patient with myself and others. An intention acts like an anchor. When the day gets chaotic, and it will get chaotic, your intention pulls you back to center. It reminds you of who you want to be, not just what you have to do. Write your daily intention down. Put it on a sticky note on your mirror. Say it out loud. Look at yourself in the mirror and speak it like you mean it. This small act of self-direction puts you in control of your day, instead of letting your day control you. Be kind to yourself. This might be the most important thing I say in this entire video. Many people add to their stress by being their own harshest critic. Why did I say that in the meeting? I am so stupid. Why cannot I handle this? Everyone else seems fine. That inner voice is a stress generator. Every cruel word you say to yourself triggers cortisol. Your body does not know the difference between someone else criticizing you and you criticizing you. The chemical response is the same. So talk to yourself the way you would talk to a friend who is struggling. Instead of, I am so stupid, try, I made a mistake. It is okay. I will learn from it. Instead of, I cannot handle anything, try, this is a hard moment, not a hard life. Self-compassion is not weakness. It is wisdom, and it is one of the best stress medicines that exists. Music. Never underestimate the power of music to change your stress levels in minutes. Slow, calming music has been shown to lower heart rate, reduce cortisol, and activate the parasympathetic nervous system. Create a specific playlist for stress relief. Slow instrumentals, nature sounds, acoustic guitar, whatever makes you feel calm. Keep it ready on your phone. When stress hits, put it on. Close your eyes for 2 minutes. Let the sound wash over you. And on the flip side, music can energize you when stress has left you feeling drained. Put on something with a strong beat and let yourself move. Stress stores energy in your body. Music plus movement helps you discharge that energy. Use music as a tool, not just entertainment. Here is something critical that most people miss. It is not just about preventing stress. It is about recovering from it quickly. The faster you recover from a stress event, the less damage it does. Think of it like this. 2 boxers get hit with the same punch. One gets back up in 3 seconds. The other stays on the mat for 30 seconds. Same punch, very different outcomes. Your recovery speed is what determines how much stress hurts you. Every tool I have given you is a recovery tool. Breathing helps you recover in minutes. Exercise helps you recover in hours. Sleep helps you recover overnight. Gratitude helps you recover emotionally. The goal is not to never feel stress. The goal is to bounce back faster than the stress can build up. That is true resilience. What gets measured gets managed. Start tracking your daily stress levels. Every evening, rate your stress on a scale of 1 to 10. Write down what caused the highest stress moments. Write down what helped you feel better. Over time, you will see clear patterns. Maybe Tuesdays are always high stress because of a weekly team meeting. Maybe afternoons are always worse because you skip lunch. Maybe you feel best on days you exercised. These patterns give you the information you need to optimize your system. You do not need a fancy app. A simple notebook with the date, a number from 1 to 10, and a quick sentence about why works perfectly. This practice turns you from someone who reacts to stress into someone who studies it. And once you study it, you can master it. You do not have to do this alone. Build a support team. Tell a close friend what you are working on. Find an accountability partner who will check in with you about your breathing and exercise, or join an online community focused on stress management and wellness. When you share your goals with others, you are more likely to follow through. When you struggle, they can encourage you. When they struggle, you can support them. And that mutual support creates oxytocin, which, as we discussed, directly fights cortisol. Research on resilience emphasizes that social support networks are among the most critical factors for buffering the negative effects of stress. You are stronger with people around you. Find your team, even if it is just one person. Use your weekends as a reset, not to catch up on work, not to scroll endlessly, to genuinely rest and recharge. Sleep in a little, cook a slow breakfast, spend time with people you love, move your body outdoors. The global stress research makes clear that people in all types of employment, full-time, part-time, and self-employed, are experiencing worsening emotional stress. The weekend is your chance to break that cycle, to remind your body what calm feels like. Plan one restorative activity every weekend. Go to a farmer's market, take a long hike, read an entire book, or just sit in a park and watch the world go by. Guard your weekends fiercely. They are your body's repair shop. People with a strong sense of purpose handle stress better. When you know why you are doing something, the hard parts become easier to bear. The student who studies all night for an exam they care about feels different from the one studying for something they hate. Same stress, different experience. Ask yourself, what matters to me? What am I working toward? Is it providing for your family? Building a business? Creating art? Helping your community? When you connect your daily actions to a bigger purpose, stress becomes fuel instead of poison. Purpose does not have to be grand. It can be simple. I want my children to see me healthy and happy. That is enough. That is a purpose worth managing your stress for. Let your why be bigger than your stress, and the stress will shrink. And listen, if your stress feels unmanageable, if you have tried these techniques and you still feel overwhelmed, it is okay to seek professional help. A therapist, a counselor, a doctor. There is no shame in asking for support. Research from ASU specifically highlights cognitive behavioral therapy as an effective, non-pharmacological intervention for chronic stress and its mental health effects. A trained professional can help you identify deep patterns that you might not see on your own. Everything in this video is a foundation, but some people need more, and that is completely normal. You would not try to fix a broken leg with breathing exercises alone. So do not try to fix severe chronic stress without professional guidance if you need it. Asking for help is not failure, it is strategy. All right, let us put your complete daily system together. Morning. Wake up, 5 minutes of breathing, 20 to 30 minutes of exercise, a healthy breakfast, set your daily intention. That takes about 1 hour total. Midday. Movement snacks between tasks. Stay hydrated. Eat a nutritious lunch. Take one 5-minute mindfulness break. Connect with at least one person socially. Use the 2-minute rule for small tasks. That keeps your stress low throughout the day. Evening. Screens off 1 hour before bed. Gratitude journaling. 3 things. 5 minutes of breathing or meditation. Progressive muscle relaxation if needed. Cool, dark, quiet room. 7 or more hours of sleep. That is your complete system. Simple, backed by science, and devastatingly effective against stress. Now, you are not going to do all of this perfectly every day, and that is okay. This is about consistency, not perfection. If you miss your morning breathing one day, do not beat yourself up and quit everything. Just do it the next day. The research is clear. Behavioral stress reduction programs work through consistent practice over time, not through single dramatic events. It is the daily repetition that rewires your brain, that builds the neural pathways of calm, that trains your body to recover faster. Think of stress management like brushing your teeth. You do not brush once and expect your teeth to stay clean forever. You brush every day. Stress management is the same. Daily maintenance, small actions, huge results over time. Here is the beautiful thing. When you manage your stress, everyone around you benefits. Your partner gets a calmer version of you. Your children get a more patient parent. Your coworkers get a more focused colleague. Your friends get someone who is truly present. Stress is contagious, but so is calm. When you walk into a room with a regulated nervous system, you change the energy of that room. People feel it. They relax around you. They trust you more. They listen to you more. You are not just doing this for yourself. You are doing it for every person who crosses your path. Managing your stress is one of the most generous things you can do for the people you love. Remember that on the days when it feels hard to keep going, you now have everything you need. A complete, science-backed system to control your stress daily. Breathing, exercise, sleep, gratitude, mindfulness, nutrition, connection, boundaries, recovery, purpose. You have the tools, all of them. The only question left is, will you use them? Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Start with the 3 simplest ones. 5 minutes of breathing, 20 minutes of walking, 3 gratitudes before bed. That is your starting point, right there. Your body wants to heal. Your brain wants to be calm. Your heart wants to feel at peace. Give them the chance. Start today. Be patient with yourself. Be consistent, and I promise you, the version of you that exists on the other side of this system is someone you are going to be very proud of. Now go and take that first deep breath. You have already begun.